Well, 6:33 now, and the state Senate passing a 2-year budget plan last night. It's now heading to the governor's desk.
And joining us to talk more, just a bit more about a very expansive state budget, we're happy to have State Comptroller Sean Scanlon with us. Mr. Scanlon, good morning. How are you today?
Good morning. Good to be with you.
Yeah, glad to have you here. Of course, the headline here for a lot of people is an income tax cut here in the lowest two marginal tax brackets. I think if I did my math right, you're single, you make $50,000. It's going to save you about $300, $600 if you're filing jointly. Just what kind of impact is that going to have on Connecticut families?
Well, 80% of the people in our state make up to $100,000. And so this is a tax cut for 80% of the state population. It's the largest tax cut in the history of our state. And I think the governor and the legislature should both be really given a lot of praise for the fact that we are able in this economy to cut taxes that significantly. I think it's a big boost to a lot of families in Connecticut.
Our kids' schools, education, always top of mind for parents, and we know that Connecticut, just like the rest of the country, is dealing with a massive teacher shortage. How is this budget going to affect our kids' education?
Well, this budget makes a historic investment in early childhood and K through 12 education here in our state. But specifically when it comes to our local public schools, we're almost doubling the funding this year in the budget for those schools, making sure that our what's known as ECS formula, basically what breaks down how each town gets their money, is expanded in a way that makes sure that cities and towns across Connecticut get the money that they need to educate our kids, as you said, after a very difficult few years, to make sure our kids are getting everything they need in the classroom.
Is there anything in there that's going to make housing more affordable, especially for younger adults?
Yeah, so this budget does also invest in housing. We're making sure that we're trying to connect transit-oriented development, something that people talk about all the time. Basically, that means getting people to live by a train line or a bus line so that they don't have to use a car all the time. This budget makes those investments, and hopefully by making Connecticut more interconnected, especially for people maybe in my generation who don't necessarily want to own a car and sit in traffic on 95, this budget will help them do that and help local cities and towns grow as they want to grow.
Now, does this budget change the Husky health coverage for people here in our state, specifically undocumented children?
It does. And so what that means for your viewers is that a few years ago, we began offering health insurance coverage to undocumented women and pregnant women and their small children. And the basis behind that is I personally believe that healthcare is a human right. And when those people get sick, they are living in our state, regardless of whether you want them to be or not. And so they are here. They deserve healthcare as far as I'm concerned. And if they are going to get healthcare right now, they go to an emergency room and they don't have insurance. And that costs the hospitals money, that costs all of us money. And so I think the humane and fiscally responsible thing to do is to try to find a way to give the hospitals some way to be compensated for the care of caring for our undocumented population. This is what does that. And the budget expands the age of a child can be covered under this program to the age of 15 from 12, where it was right now.
All right, just a few of the bullet points. Of course, there are so many more we could have gotten to, but we got to as many as we could in the time allowed. Comptroller Scanlon, thank you so much for your time, especially this early in the morning.
Good to be here. Thank you.